We saw the introduction of Six Sigma, and we saw the chapter 1, which is what is Six Sigma. And we said Six Sigma is data-driven processes and decisions. And today we are going to define Six Sigma, and we will get into, if possible, the common principles in Six Sigma. And we will also see some challenges of Six Sigma. And we saw two things. It's a methodology for process improvement and a statistical concept that helps in reduction of variation. This is what we saw. That's just a quickly overview of this. Now, we said variation in the process leads to error. Variation in the process leads to error. If there are a lot of variations, it leads to error. And error will lead to defects. And defects will lead to poor customer satisfaction. And hence, if customer is not satisfied, then our business will suffer. And that is why reduce process cost, that increases customer satisfaction. That's a quick recap. If you want to get into the details of this, you can watch my previous video, which I have explained in an elaborate way. To find that, please come for the upcoming session here. Now, we said this measurement and metrics is very important. And there are two things, intuition and experience, based on which we do that. Now, when we talk about intuition and experience, both intuition and experience is required, but it is important to go by data-based decision making. All of you type DBDM in the chat box, data-based decision making. Good. Now, this is a question to the audience. Is it good to take decisions based on experience and intuition? Just type yes or no in the chat box. Is it good to take decisions based on experience and intuition? Good. I'm glad that so many people are answering it partially. Somebody says partially. So there are mixed answers here. What my suggestion is, experience is definitely good. Intuition is certainly good, but back up with the data. Experience might say that the process is working or is not working, but with statistics, prove that your experience is right. And intuition might guide you to believe something is good or bad, but use Six Sigma tools to help organizations validate those assumptions using the Six Sigma tools based on data. This is clear. Type SC, super clear in the chat box. Very important thing. Experience is okay. It is experience and intuition adds towards the direction of the solution, but use data to validate your point, validate your assumptions. How many of you agree with me? Trust it. Yes, I respect your experience. I respect your intuition. It only helps us go quickly in the direction of the solution, but validate it with data. Fantastic. Thank you very much. Great. What happens of decision making without Six Sigma? See, without proper measurement and without proper analysis, decision making process, if it proceeds, you see that, there might be some groups in the organization which is biased towards idea, and they start working towards that. And they believe that the idea will be successful based on their past knowledge and experience. So generally, they go with the beta mode. Last time we spoke about beta testing, beta modes. They do this testing in a controlled environment, right? And also they test it based on their experience and based on their intuitions, and then they validate it using the testing. We have spoken about beta testing, and the beta testing is an act of doing it in a controlled environment. How many of you know about beta testing? Just type no in the chat box. For those who are in IT will know about beta testing. It is an act of implementing a new idea system in a controlled environment. In Six Sigma also, we use this type of testing to reduce the risk and to reduce the cost. This is just a quick recap. I'm going a little faster because we have already covered in the last session. Now, I'm not going to read the slides. If you want to really understand this, go through my earlier videos. Beta testing is also sometimes used in the Six Sigma approach. And there are advantages, pros and cons of it, which we have discussed in last time. So decision making with the Six Sigma, let us see. So Six Sigma, we said, help identify problems, validate assumptions. And then we go for implementing. Now I'm going to ask a quiz question. Okay, read the slides carefully and answer the quiz, which is going to come in the next slide. By applying this tools such as statistical analysis, there are a lot of tools like process mapping and stuff like that, which we are going to learn in the coming modules. The team can visualize and predict the outcome with a higher level of accuracy than experience and intuition would do that. But Six Sigma methods don't offer like a crystal ball for the organizations. Even with the expert use of tools, there are still problems that might come, and that is why we have something called as a control method. But this control method is still required, but the control methods what you put will be more cost effective than without using the Six Sigma tools and trying to do it in the traditional way. Just 1 second. Let me open up this slide. There seems to be some. Okay, just 1 second. Now I've got those questions. Okay, share and then see the notes. Now, in the previous slide, if you see data-driven experience and intuition, I've got a quiz question. How many of you ready for the quiz? Just type ready in the chat box. Fine. I'm planning to have quizzes along with, so that when you take up the course, for you, it will be much easier approach to write the exam also. Okay, that's how I've started making it from now. I've started adding the question answer session inside this. Now, this is a quiz question for you. The question is here. How does Six Sigma relate to the role of experience and intuition in decision making within organizations? Six Sigma completely replaces the need for experience, leadership, and intuition. Yes or no? Let's see in the chat box. Definitely no. Fine. Six Sigma is irrelevant to decision making in organizations. Yes or no? No. Six Sigma complements the experienced leadership intuition by providing mathematical and statistical foundations. Great. Six Sigma discourages organization from using experienced leadership. So what is the correct answer? A, B, C, D. Which is the correct answer? All right. So Six Sigma complements the thing. What I have designed from now onwards is, if you feel that I can add such question and answers between my slides, will it be useful, interesting, valuable? Please put in the chat box so that I will take your feedback. In my upcoming sessions, I will add this type of questions after every few slides so that it is both like, refreshing and revising a few slides every now and then. Because I've taken all the efforts to really convert that whatever I've taught into a question and answer. Thank you very much. Great. Okay, data making decision without Six Sigma. So we have seen this one, and I'm going to ask a question out of this slide. Okay, we have said without proper measurement and analysis. They believe that idea is successful, it goes into beta mode and stuff like that. How many of you are ready for the quiz now? Just type ready in the chat box if you're ready for the quiz. Good. All right. Now, this is a question. What are the typical steps in decision-making process within the organization without proper measurement and analysis? See, some companies do not do proper measurement. Some companies do not do proper analysis, but they make some decisions. So in such companies, what are the typical steps in decision-making process? Ideas are evaluated based on thorough measurement and analysis. Yes or no? A is no. Okay. Decision makers address problems before they impact product and processes. Decision makers address problems before they impact products. Decision makers rely on experience and belief in an idea success before implementation. The questions become little clear, right? Implementation always occur without any beta testing, which is the correct answer. Decision makers rely on experience and belief, and ideas and implementation. Those who have given right answer, give yourself a thumbs up. Good. All right. Now, decision making with the Six Sigma. Decision making with Six Sigma. Okay, let me open this. The Six Sigma method lets organization identify problems, validate assumptions, you brainstorm the solutions and plan for improvement. We have seen this in the last slide, okay? And just now I started by saying there are a lot of tools like statistical analysis, process mapping tools, okay, which can guide you towards the direction of the solutions, but they don't, Six Sigma by itself don't offer like a crystal ball magic solution. So even when the use of it, with strict implementation with the advanced tools, we still get problems. That's why we use control methods. But control methods are, and that also costs money. This control methods also cost money, but it's a preventive control method, which costs much lesser money than failure cost. It's a preventive cost rather than the failure cost. Now the question, be ready for the question. What is one of the primary benefits of applying Six Sigma method to decision making within the organization? The passage, whatever that we have described, what is one of the primary benefits of applying Six Sigma method to the decision making within the organization? It provides a crystal ball predicting all potential outcomes. It completely eliminates problem during implementation of the solutions. No? Okay, it allows organization to visualize and predicts the outcome with high level of accuracy. It replaces control methods with traditional quality methods. So the correct answer is, again, C. Now let us define Six Sigma. Okay, now let us go through slowly and steadily. Let's dive deeper in this. Six Sigma is a methodology for process improvement, involves a vast library of tools and knowledge. And that is why I will take for 54 sessions, which will be covered throughout this course. This is a lifelong learning. How many of you want to become lifelong learners? Type L in the chat box if you want to become lifelong learners. That is why people who register for my upcoming session, I discourage people who just come for certification alone, because we do not want people to come with just a certificate in mind. Okay, you want to become a lifelong learning. That's why we formed world's largest community. And those who are interested in lifelong learning, register for this and come to the upcoming sessions. And then, a few of them, like the cream of you, will become trainers, coaches, and consultants, which will transform the small and medium enterprises. In this section, we will begin defining the statistical concept. So basic definition, you can call it statistical representation. All of you type yes or in the chat box. I will ask you to put it in the chat box because I want to condition your brain. Statistical representation. I will keep conditioning your brain with certain statistical representation. Then this is very important. Write 3.4 DPMO. Okay, 3.4 DPMO, 3.4 defects per million opportunities. What is opportunity? What is defect? What is unit? All that I will check. Please, how many of you have notes today? Type notes in the chat box. Okay, 3.4 defects per million opportunities. If you call that in percentage, it's almost 99.99966% of products are without defects. Just imagine between Six Sigma and Five Sigma, it will jump by 230 errors. Okay, so Five Sigma is 99.97, which is equal to 233 errors per million opportunities. And in simpler terms, there are going to be many more unsatisfied customers if your Sigma level keeps coming down. Okay, the higher the level of Sigma, the lesser is the variation, the better is your capability, quality, and okay. If this is clear, okay, on a scale of 1 to 10, please give me a 9 or 10. If some of you are not clear, it is still okay, but just want to know. Super. So we will sink in slowly, steadily. I'm going to have the world's exhaustive coverage on Lean Six Sigma. The question is, now the question, what does the term Six Sigma represent in a Six Sigma process? What does the term Six Sigma represent in a Six Sigma process? The first one, a perfect process with zero defects. Yes or no? No. B. A process with 3.4 defects per million opportunities. Great. A process with 99.97% accuracy. No. What does 99.97 represent as per your previous slide? 5 sigma. Very good. Excellent. Okay. A process with 5 defects per million opportunity. In fact, I should have written 6 defects per million opportunity. People would have thought that is 6 sigma. Can I change this? Yeah, I think I'll change this because people will be misled by this. 6 defects with million opportunities. Interesting, right? Because some people who do not know, they will give the answer as 6. The correct answer is B. Once again, wanted to confirm with you. This is the first time I've started my session with slide with question and answers. If all of you acknowledge genuinely that Murali, instead of covering the sessions fast, you have a few slides, ask few questions with question answers, and then you cover it. It'll be useful. If you feel that is useful, please put it in the chat box. I want the feedback from each and every one of you because I take a lot of efforts in converting those concepts into questions. So do you feel instead of rushing through the content, pausing it, introspecting it, asking questions, okay, discussing it, debating it, it's very useful learning, right? Fantastic. And sincerely thank each and every one of you because it's very, very important that we go through step by step, okay? Can we see some real world examples? If you want some real world examples, type RWE in the chat box, real world examples. You'll see some interesting real world examples to see exactly what Six Sigma represents, okay? Super. We'll see some few examples such as National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, NOAA, Center for Disease Control and Prevention, which is CDCP, and Amazon Shipment Deliveries. Okay, this is going to be really interesting, and let's start this interesting examples. Okay. Wow. What do you saw on the screen? More planes. National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, according to them, air traffic controllers in United States handle 28,537 flights every day. How many? Just put it in the chat box. How many flights every day? 28,537. In a year, there is 10.416 million flights. That is what it means. Based on 5 sigma air traffic control process, errors of some type occur in the process for handling approximately 2,426 flights every year. Errors of some type happen in 2,426. All of you give a blink in the chat box. Okay. I don't know where to get that blinky. Yeah, that's sort of an emoji, right? If it is with the Six Sigma process, you can reduce that 2426 to 35.4 to just 35. That is the amount of difference between 5 sigma and 6 sigma. If you can see that difference, type ICS, I can see in the chat box. I want you to see the difference between 5 sigma, because people ask why 6 sigma? Why not 5 sigma? Why not 8 sigma? See, if you go to 7 sigma, it doesn't reduce much. Okay, 6 sigma is good enough. First achieve 6 sigma, then we will see the others. Okay. Now let's see the next one. What is it you see on the screen? Operation third error. Surgery is happening, right? Center for Disease Control and Prevention. So this reports approximately 51.4 million surgeries that are performed every given year. How many surgeries? Please put it in the chat box. How many surgeries? 51.4 million. Great. And based on 99.97% accuracy rate, if you're 99.97% accurate, doctors would make errors on 11,976 surgeries each year, or 230 surgeries every week. All of you give a big blink wow in the chat box. How would it be if you have 11,976 surgeries which had errors? Fixing in the wrong place, wrong unit. Now, if you go to 6 sigma, how much would that reduce to? Any idea? If you go to a 6 sigma level of accuracy, how much would that reduce to? Any guesses? So somebody is saying 11 per week, 12.3 per week, etc., etc. Let's see that. So after 6 sigma, that drops to approximately 174 errors a year for the entire country, or just 3 errors per week. If you feel this is awesome, give it a thumbs up in the chat box. This is the impact of 5 sigma to 6 sigma. Super. So the 5 sigma patients are 68 times more likely to experience an error. 68 times more likely to experience errors in the hands of medical providers. So we always think 99.9% okay. Is it good enough? Yes or no? 99.9%, is it good enough? Type yes or no. Some people say it depends. Good. Okay, this is just a discussion. Let's see what it means. While most people accept 99.9% accuracy, even in the most critical services on a daily basis, the above examples what I showed of aerospace and medical. Okay, aerospace and medical are two sensitive areas. That shows how wide the gap between 5 sigma and 6 sigma is, correct? For organizations, it's not just about the error rate. It's also about the cost associated with the errors. So it depends upon the cost associated with the errors, and it is your strategic decision on what to improve and to how much you have to improve. How many of you agree with me? It's a strategic decision on what to improve and to how much to improve. All right. So Amazon shipments. How many of you buy from Amazon? Type Amazon in the chat box if you're buying from Amazon. How many of you buy from Amazon? A lot of you buy from Amazon, right? Fine. Most of you buy from Amazon. So for those of you who stay till the end, I will share a very useful book on this Lean Six Sigma training manual. Whatever that I'm showing to you, I will share a very useful book. This Black Friday deal is coming on. This is a report from Amazon itself. It was a Cyber Monday in the year 2013. So Amazon processed 36.8 million orders. Let's assume each order, the error costs the company an average of $35. If there is an error happening, that error to rectify, let's say on an average, it costs $35. And $35 is a very conservative number because customer return, shipping cost, logistic cost, packing cost, etc., etc. There is a redoing the whole stuff again and again. So this is a $35 per error. The return rate is a very conservative number. Now I'm showing you some statistics. At 5 sigma level, for 36.8 million orders, the errors are 8574. If the average cost per error is $35, it is about 300,000. All of you give wow in the chat box or a big blinky in the chat box. This is what a 5 sigma level indicates. 300,000, as you might call, $300,000 that it would cost Amazon because of those errors. Now, if it is 6 sigma, how much would it be? I've quickly hidden that. If it is 6 sigma, how much would it be? How much would be the cost of those errors? From 5 sigma, you move up to 1 sigma up. How much would it cost them? There are some good wild guesses. And let's see here. It is around $4,300. Somebody said 5,000 is good, attempt. 6,000 is also good enough, right? 4,379. So it is there in the book, whatever that I've shared. Very good. So all of you can follow that book and learn that. Okay, I'll share the book in the chat box once you stay till the end. Good. Now just check from 3 lakhs, it goes to just 4,000. So the cost difference in 6 sigma levels still over $295 for a Cyber Monday business because it is at 5 sigma levels. So if you look at Amazon Cyber Monday example at other levels of sigma, let us say that it is 6 sigma, we said it is 3.4, which is 4,379. If it is 5 sigma, we saw that it was about, okay, where is this spotlight? Okay, spotlight. So this is $300,000. If it goes to 4 sigma, it goes to 7,985, and 3 sigma is 86,000, more than that, right? 86,038,000. So that is the impact on. So how many of you can see the impact of different levels of 6 sigma? Type I, C, yes, I can see in the chat box. This is what I want you to realize, the impact of it. So the lower, definitely it will not become profitable. Everything will eat into profit. So for most of the organizations, 6 sigma process are constant target. Okay, achieving and maintaining 6 sigma perfection is difficult and requires continuous process improvement. And even advancing the lower levels of sigma to 4 sigma and 5 sigma has a drastic impact on cost and customer satisfaction. So how to calculate sigma levels is something that we will see it in the upcoming session.